I sat across from him in the living room, cradling my cup of tea, pretending to scroll through my phone. The television was on, tuned to one of those true crime shows we both used to enjoy. But the irony of watching people destroy lives with secrets and betrayal felt too close to home. He was on one of his high horses again. And so I told him straight to his face, "You're a disgrace, man. You've got a wife and 2 kids, and you're out here acting like a horny teenager? You're done. I don't keep cheaters in my circle." His voice boomed with righteousness, his jaw set like a man of moral principle. He was talking about his old college friend, Ray. I remembered Ray. Charming. A little too much at times, but harmless or so, I thought. Until he got caught with a coworker. And now, my husband had made it his mission to publicly exile him from the Good Men's Club. I should have said something, maybe laughed, maybe even nodded, but I couldn't trust my voice, because I knew, because I had seen. Because just 2 nights ago, I heard him whisper, "I miss you too." Into the phone at 1 a.m. That wasn't Ray's story he was so passionately telling. That was ours. He kept talking, swirling his glass of whiskey like he was auditioning for a role in a movie called The Loyal Husband. I just don't get it. Why even marry someone if you're going to act single? I swear, some men are just cowards. Cowards? I felt something in my chest rage, maybe, or heartbreak, maybe both. It sat behind my ribs like a ticking bomb. "Yeah," I said finally, my voice too quiet. "Some men really are." He didn't catch the bite in my tone. He rarely did. He liked to hear himself talk more than he liked to hear me speak. He poured himself another drink and leaned back into the couch, still so smug. So comfortable, meanwhile. My world had started collapsing in slow motion 4 nights ago. It started with a name I didn't recognize on his phone, K. Just that. No last name. No emoji. Nothing suspicious enough to scream infidelity. But something about the way he'd locked his phone too fast, too nervous, made my stomach twist. I thought I was being paranoid. I really did. But the next night, he fell asleep on the couch, and his phone buzzed. I shouldn't have looked high, I know that, but curiosity is cruel. It opens doors you didn't know existed. Can't wait to see. "You again tomorrow," my throat went dry. I opened the thread. My hands trembled. Kay wasn't just some flirty friend. Kay sent photos. Kay talked about hotels. Kay joked about your poor wife. And my husband, who sat now bragging about his loyalty, replied with laughing emojis. Love hearts, and one message that still echoes in my head. She doesn't suspect a thing. You're my escape from the boring life I settled. For boring life. Settled for, was that me? Was I the boring life? I had to close the phone? I had to run to the bathroom before I vote. Now, I look at him and wonder how many times he's rehearsed this version of himself. The one who lectures everyone else on ethics, while practicing none of his own, babe, he said suddenly, snapping me out of my thoughts. You remember that trip I told you about next week? The work retreat in Atlanta? I nodded. Yeah, what about it? Just confirming the hotel. Same place we stayed last year. Send you the address in case you need it, in case I need it. The audacity made my skin crawl. I already knew the address, because Kay had texted it to him earlier with the words, room 315 again? Like last time, it was never a work retreat. It was never a business. It was never just once. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. He snored beside me like he had the conscience of a monk. I lay staring at the ceiling, 1,000 thoughts racing. Why? Do men like him think they can have it all? Why do they think we won't find out? And why did I feel so stupid? I'd built this life with him. I supported his business when it was just an idea. I cooked dinners when we had no money. Cheered him on when he doubted himself. I stayed faithful. I stayed kind. I stayed present. And yet, I was the one being cheated on. Compared to some woman named Kay in cheap lingerie, the next morning, I didn't get up with him. I pretended to still be asleep as he got dressed and left for work. He leaned over to kiss my forehead, his daily lie. I didn't move. When the door shut, I sat up and stared at the clock. I had 12 hours before he got back. 12 hours to decide who I wanted to be, a victim, a fighter, a fool. I pulled out my journal. It had been years since I wrote anything real in it. But today felt like it needed to be documented because I wasn't going to live this lie anymore, dear me. thinks I don't know, but I do. He thinks I'll never find the courage out, but I will. He thinks I'll stay, but I'm already gone. Night, he came home smiling. Want to order in? I was thinking Thai. I forced a smile. Sure, he kissed me. I let him. And for the first time in my life, I understood what it meant to feel empty while going through the motions. Halfway through dinner, he started talking about Ray again. Can you believe he had the nerve to message me, asking if we could talk it out? I told him, nah, man, you crossed the line. I put down my fork and looked him square in the eyes. What line did he cross exactly? He blinked. What? You said Ray cheated on his wife? That's the line, right? Infidelity? Nodded slowly, cautious. Yeah. So what do you think should happen to men like that? He laughed nervously. I mean, they should be held accountable, of course. I leaned forward, dead calm. Then hold yourself accountable. He froze. I had never seen that look on his face before, pure, raw fear. Like his world, the carefully constructed facade, was cracking. What are you talking about? No. About Kay, I said. I know about the hotel, the texts, the lies. I know everything. Double quotes, silence. His mouth opened, then shut. I looked like a fish out of water. I don't know what you think you saw. I saw enough. It put his fork down, hands trembling slightly. Babe, I swear, it's not what it looks like. I laughed. It wasn't funny, but I laughed. Because how cliché could he be? It's exactly what it looks like. The only thing worse than what you did is how you bragged about cutting off someone for doing the same damn thing. He looked down, cowered. I didn't cry. Not then. Not when he started begging. Not when he said he'd end it. That it meant nothing. Because it did mean something. It meant he didn't respect me. It meant he thought I'd never find out. It meant he believed I was disposable, but I wasn't. I stood up and walked to the bedroom, pulled out the suitcase I'd hidden earlier that day. My clothes, my laptop, my freedom. Wait, where are? You going? He asked, following. I didn't answer right away. I zipped up the bag and rolled it to the door. You said you don't keep cheaters in your circle, I said. So I'm doing the same. And then I walked out.